This is beautiful. If you scratched off the Bentley veneer.
Thank you. Approach control.
A little bit of rain going here.
It is actually very, very fast, but you don't really notice it.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by Autotop NL. My name is Max, and today we've got the all-new Bentley Continental GT W12. And well, it is gorgeous. It is beautiful to look at. It is great to drive. It is one of the coolest, nicest driving cars we have done this year. I mean, it's just so impressive, this car, and oh well, I'm a bit in love. Makes me a bit sad because it's so expensive, but oh, it's such a cool car. All right, so we've got the key right here. This is it, with the Bentley B. How cool is this? So good looking. All right, so let's start with a little bit of history. Over 15 years ago now, Bentley came with the Continental GT, which was the first all VW made Bentley. So they took a VW Phaeton, the big saloon. They took that platform and they started building this, or the previous Continental GT on it. And that meant that they sort of started with, well, not the best base to build a Bentley, let's be honest. And well, it was sort of a handicapped race, to be honest. They had to use a lot of VW parts. They had to use the Phaeton underpinnings. And when you drove that first generation Continental GT, you always felt that there was some kind of VW core if you scratched off the Bentley veneer, so to speak. With this one, wait, no, it did mean that Bentley had a great start with VW, because they sold over 66,000 of those first gen and facelifted Continental GT models. So it's a super important car for Bentley because, well, it's money in the bank. And it was a great car to drive because it was so comfortable and because it was so wafty. But once you started actually, you know, pushing it, it was horrible. The gearbox was horrible. Everything was horrible, to be honest. It was just very comfortable and very fast. So this new one, this platform, this car, was developed together with the Porsche engineers. So this is the platform on which the Panamera also sits. And the Bentley engineers and the Porsche engineers were closely working together to develop this platform so it would work for the Continental GT as well as the Panamera. And that meant that, you know, they could make this such a Bentley more than the previous Continental GT. They wanted comfort, but they also wanted it to handle better than the previous one. And that has resulted in some very big changes. For instance, the wheels have been moved forwards by 135 millimeters. The engine has gone backwards with 15 centimeters. It's lower because the front axle is further to the front, so the engine can sit lower and further to the middle, which is better for the weight distribution. Well, while we are on the topic, let's take a look at the engine. If we can figure out how to open it. Ah, there it is. Hidden. All right, so we've still got the 6-liter W12 twin-turbo engine, but it is an all-new engine. So even though it's the same architecture, the same displacement, it is a new engine. It even has a different firing order of the cylinders. I mean, they have really done their best to make this car better and feel more powerful too. Because a lot of Bentley customers wanted their car to feel more powerful. I mean, they were very powerful cars, the Continental GTs, the previous generation, but they didn't always feel like that. So this one should feel a lot more aggressive, a lot more powerful. Yeah. Oh man, I love it so much. God. Okay, so this color is called Orange Flame. The Bentley PR guy in the Netherlands told us that Bentley always sends over an orange one to the Netherlands. I guess they think that we like orange cars. We've got a lot of chrome in the grille, which is beautiful. We've got gorgeous headlights with sort of a crystal pattern in them, which looks super luxurious and nice and beautiful, and they work really well too. It's like a crystal look or something like that. It's really beautiful. We've got these crazy creases in the bodywork, which are super sharp, and that's because they use a very special process of heating the aluminium to 500 degrees Celsius and then sort of bend it. I don't know. It's a super special process, which means that they can get these super sharp creases in there, which is beautiful. New rear end, new rear lights, again with a crystal sort of shape in them and a bit of depth. Still the big oval exhaust pipes, valve controlled exhaust, 22-inch wheels, some great brakes as well. The previous Continental's brakes weren't that great. 420 millimeters at the front, 380 at the rear. These are actually one of the biggest steel brake discs you can get on any production car. And well, this is where stuff gets even more crazy. This is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So we've got Portland with burnt oak, and a lot of wood as well, a lot of chrome, a lot of diamond stitching, both on the seats as well as on the doors. We've got thick carpets in there, more wood, Bang & Olufsen surround sound system, which is beautiful. Just look at that. Handcrafted Bentley motors, black, and a Bentley logo, which lights up, as you can see. Very, very, very beautiful. So in here, thank you. Yeah, this is gorgeous. I mean, this is Bentley. Leather everywhere. I mean, everywhere. Even on the inside of the doors. It is absolutely gorgeous. And the James Bond feature. You know what it is, guys? There it is. How freaking cool is that? I mean, it's so freaking special. And you can even get this one, which is even cooler. Oh, beautiful, beautiful clocks, or not, well, they're not clocks, they're gauges, with a temperature, outside temperature, compass, and a lap timer, I guess. Oh, it's just so beautiful, and the way it turns, the way it moves is so very mechanical. Yeah, it is super, super nice. Center console, I'm really glad that Bentley didn't go for the dual screen setup like we are seeing in a lot of Volkswagen Group cars now. They stuck with one screen, center console, which is absolutely beautiful. Wood, metal, a little analog clock. These vent control things are, they are really nice too. Always love those. So yeah, it's a lot of wood, leather and aluminium, which is pretty great. We've got a perforated leather steering wheel, all brown with contrasting stitching. But you can also get this in a two-tone, which I've seen, which is absolutely gorgeous. So you could have gone for this in Portland, which is this color, and then this outer edge in brown, or the other way around, which would also be really great. We've got the menu here, so you can adjust all your stuff, like the ambient lighting and everything you want. Yeah, let's start it up. and we'll take it for a drive, and we'll take it to the Autobahn another day. So we'll do that after this. So we've got the drive selector down here. We can switch between Sport, Bentley, Comfort and Custom. If you select Bentley or Comfort, it will send up to 38% of the power to the front wheels. This car's all-wheel drive, of course. And if you select Sport, it will send up to 17% of the power to the front wheels. And even if you're driving along, it sends most of the power to the rear wheels to save fuel for efficiency, blah blah blah. So that's pretty impressive as well. Yeah, we'll just take it for a drive and I'll tell you some more stuff about this car, because they have worked super hard to make this the Bentley Continental GT they wanted from the start. And well, of course it's lighter than before. I mean, that's sort of the norm now. Cars get lighter every time, and this is actually 80 kilos lighter than the previous one, but it still weighs 2244 kilos, so it's still very heavy. But the crazy thing is that, you know, with the previous one you actually felt that weight. You felt that it weighed 2.2 plus tons, but with this one you really don't. You really don't feel that it's so heavy, which is super impressive and is an achievement on itself. I mean, it feels so nimble and light on its feet, and it's just very, very strange, to be honest. So what have they done to achieve that? Well, of course, this car has air suspension, 3-chamber air suspension with electronic control stuff, and it also has the 48-volt system, which powers the active stabilization. And those two things really mean that this car handles like a dream. I mean, at the press introduction of this Continental GT, they even took it to the track, and I mean, you have to be pretty confident of yourself and of your cars to take journalists to the track with a Continental GT. And well, I really understand why they did that, because it handles really well. So I'm in Bentley mode right now, which is sort of the Bentley chosen mode for the road. It's not as wafty and as supple as Comfort mode, but it is you know, it is still super comfortable, but it is a little bit more controllable, a little bit less body roll than Comfort mode. So if I go to Sport, everything sharpens up, the suspension tightens, I think it also lowers, and the exhaust valves open as well. So let's go to manual mode, because we've got a dual clutch gearbox now, which means that it has lightning quick shifts, and it's sort of the Bentley idea of the Porsche 8-speed dual clutch gearbox, so the PDK. And it is, well, it is light years ahead of the old Continental gearbox. Okay, we'll go to manual mode, floor it. Oh my god, that's quick. So it has 635 horsepower. Oh man, and you really feel that. Woo! It is very, very fast. Peak power at 6,000 RPM. It also has 900 Newton meters at 1350 RPM. Think about that, 1350. I mean, that is so low. Top speed is 333 kilometers an hour, which is also crazy. But I can't get over the fact that this car handles the way it does. I mean, oh, it feels so good. It feels really light, and I mean, it does mean that you lose a bit of that waftability that the previous Continental GT had, which was just sort of an ultimate GT car. This is more of a sporty GT car. So you do miss a bit of that super comfortable stuff. When I put it in comfort, I mean, sure, it's super comfortable, but you do get a bit of tire noise from those 22-inch wheels on certain surfaces. But you gain so much more. Okay, let's do a launch control, sport, and I think this should be it, right? Or should the ESP be in sport mode too? No. Launch control. So 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 3.7 seconds. That's insane. But I have to say that, you know, this sense of urgency that is now in this Bentley, it feels amazing. And this engine feels much more alert too than the previous W12. It just, I never really liked the W12 in the Continental GT because it felt too sort of swampy, like your feet disappeared and nothing really happened. It was just a bit too sluggish in its response and in its power delivery. I like the V8 Continental much better of the previous generation, but I have to say with this one, oh, it's a totally different animal. You still get that dark sort of barking sound of the W12 with some pops and crackles on the upshift and on the overrun when you release the throttle. I'll open the window a bit, maybe you guys can hear it. Yeah, it's a very low sound. So all these changes, all this effort that has gone into developing this car has resulted in, well, what's probably the best GT car out there right now. I mean, it is ridiculously fast, it looks amazing, it's comfortable, it has space, it has a big boot, it has a crazy engine. Interior is beautiful, and I also like that Bentley has done a bit more to sort of set it apart from other cars of the group. So we've got all this chrome on the stalks right here, which is beautiful with this sort of pattern, and down here as well on the cruise control stalk. It has a, I don't know if you can see that, but it has a Bentley B on the brake pedal. Everything is just beautifully done, and well, I do feel like I'm in a special car, which I felt like the Lamborghini Urus sort of missed a bit. I think that the guys at Bentley have done a better job at, you know, setting it apart from the rest. Okay, so with that out of the way, this is what I mean. It just feels like a 1700 kilo car, not like a 2200 kilo. Oh man! I'm sure you could slide this car around on the track if you had enough space. Crazy car. Okay, let's take it to the Autobahn. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, at the unrestricted German Autobahn. We've got a lovely bit of sun here. Had rain all day today, or a bit of rain today, and well, we're going to see what this car feels like at the Autobahn, because, you know, with 635 horsepower, top speed of 333 kilometers an hour, I mean, this is the place. Exhaust valves open immediately when I put it in sport. Full throttle. And this might be one of the biggest differences compared to the old Continental GT. When you floor it, that dual clutch gearbox instantly changes, I don't know, 3 gears down, and it just feels so much more modern than that sort of dinosaur that the old one was. Even though it was super quick, this does feel a lot more sporting. Alright, here we go. Let's see if we can get a little gap going here. So the great thing is, of course, being a Bentley, that it's still super comfortable, even though we are traveling at 280 plus. Brakes doing their work just well too. And even at this, and even with this sort of driving, I mean, you do hear that engine and you do hear that exhaust rumbling a bit, but it's still very civilized, which I really like. We can also change the driving mode to custom, which I have set to sort of an autobahn setting. So engine drivetrain is in sport and the suspension chassis is in comfort. So we can check out how that feels, because it's actually a big difference. Got a little bump here and there, so suspension in comfort is the way to go, I think, for this part. And you know, as I said, that 3-chamber air suspension is so freaking good. It really does sort of change the character of the car when you twist this button. And of course, the great thing about that old Continental GT was that it had a sort of a steamboat-like character, you know. Once it got going, it kept going. It was really fast, but the W12 I'm talking about now. But it didn't feel sporty. It didn't feel like it wanted to rev, or it wanted you to really grab it and drive it hard. It just wanted to do, you know, big distances at high speeds. This really does sort of invite you to drive it a bit harder. So a little bit of rain going here, that's not ideal. Wow, a lot of rain actually. So let's review the windscreen wipers. They work really well too, don't you think? Very quiet, very Bentley-like. I don't actually know why my ambient lighting is not on. This would be a perfect time to show you guys. There it is. Lovely, lovely interior lighting, I think. I think it's not too much. A little bit of Bentley, a little bit of ambient lighting going. It's nice. You can change the colors and stuff. If you want to see more, check out the night POV we made with this car. I don't know if it's online yet, but... So, back to driving it. As I said, the car feels much more like it wants you to drive it hard. And, I mean, the fact that Bentley took the journalists at the press release to a racetrack, I mean, that kind of says it all. They wouldn't have done that with the old Continental, but because this has that Porsche Panamera platform, because they were so involved in developing this chassis, the suspension stuff, they felt comfortable enough to take it to the track, and I can imagine that it is a lot of fun to drive this at the track. So that's 316 kilometers an hour. Just got that in before the Dutch border. Yeah, it is really quick. It is actually very, very fast, but you don't really notice it. Oh, nice. Nice, nice, nice. Really good car. I really, really like it. Yeah, so I guess that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this POV review of the new Continental GT. I'm really glad I just got that 316 km an hour run in just before the border. You can also check out this POV review of a Mercedes S63 Coupe, which I think is sort of a competitor to this car. And you can check out this POV reviews playlist. We've made a lot of them, so go check it out. And of course, you can subscribe by clicking the big button in the middle. Thanks, guys. See you at the next one. Bye.